Welcome to this month's Art Talk. Each month, Julie Schumer and I discuss what's going on in our businesses, and we share that with you in hopes that you'll find it helpful for your own art business. So, Julie, tell me what's been going on or what you've been thinking about.
Well, I've actually been trying to expand my repertoire of what I do by kind of diving into collage work, which I have never done. So recently, maybe in the last 2 weeks, I had a chance to go back to it again and, start thinking about it in a different way. I did a couple pieces that were bigger than the original ones I did.
Mhm.
I've basically torn up hundreds of old paper pieces in my studio that I can live without, and trying to get some several containers worth of fragments to work with, and it's very fun. I'm finding it very challenging. It's difficult for me to do it, being a mark maker, not a shape maker necessarily,
Mhm.
but it's coming along. I had one that I was working on, I guess it was yesterday, that will probably go into the garbage can tomorrow when I go back to the studio. We'll see.
Well,
Maybe.
hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But if it does, that's okay too. There's plenty more where that came from.
Yeah.
But I'm finding it a different and fun thing for me to do, and very meditative type practice for
Mm.
me anyway. And so we'll see where it goes. You
So,
know,
so that could be a new series then.
it could be a new series, and I'm trying to approach it from different ways to see what speaks to me the most. And I don't know what that is quite yet.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm doing it in different ways. And I think my next thing I will do with it is take some old, smaller canvases, like maybe 40 by 30, that kind of thing, and
Right.
collage over those and make them into new paintings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds fun.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think I'm going to do that.
Well,
That's what
I always see like pieces of parts of paintings are actual paintings themselves.
right,
So
right.
having, reassembling pieces together, makes a
Uh-huh.
lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've just been working on a bunch of commissions and then doing work for a new gallery. So,
Great.
staying out of the heat in Florida and just working away in the AC, but actually it's going quite well. So,
Good.
it's been a little challenging to stay on schedule, but it's so far so good.
Good.
Knock on wood.
Right,
But
right.
one of the things I was thinking about was, as an artist, how do you keep going? How do you increase your confidence, in your business practice? And, what do you think about when you're trying to, I was talking to a friend the other day and they're kind of struggling, and it's really a confidence issue is what I would
Mhm.
say. So then, what would you tell somebody to increase their confidence?
Will increase their confidence in their painting practice, you mean?
Hmm.
Well, I think the first thing I would say is you have to have a consistent practice where you go and do this all the time, because the more you do, the better you get. It's a
Yeah.
simple equation, a simple mantra. Paint more, get better. It just is what happens. It's how I improved myself over all these years, is
Mhm.
by constantly doing it. Um, I think it's also important, and I wish I had thought about this yesterday when I was struggling with this one piece, collage piece, that not every painting is going to turn out. Not every piece is a masterpiece. Sometimes you just have to walk away from them and start something else and put it to the side and not worry about it. Because if you keep looking at that, what you think is a failed painting, there's nothing more devastating,
Mm.
and it will cause you to feel like an imposter every time.
Yeah.
It's just the road to imposter land if you don't understand that one, thing. Also, I think it's important in terms of increasing your confidence is take some workshops, improve your skills. If you know how to do something, you're going to have confidence. And you
Yeah.
may know how to do that thing that you want to do. And maybe going to a specialized workshop is going to be the thing that saves you and helps you along that road. So I think those few things can be confidence builders. But what about you, Kat? What do you think is the most important thing?
Well, definitely, doing the work and developing your style. And
Mhm.
that you just have to put the time in.
Right.
There's no other way around it. It's not like it just happens overnight.
Mhm.
So the consistent art practice, I think, is probably number one. But, as you go along over time, you're going to need to start sharing your work and getting feedback. You
Right.
have to be able to accept constructive criticism. And it has to be constructive. It can't just
Right.
be, awful things said to
Mhm.
you by uneducated people. So, having an art community around you is helpful. Forming an art community where you live, people you can get together with that are uh, also artists that have a similar desire is, I think, super helpful. And then when the time comes that you feel like you've developed your style and you're getting better and your confidence is building, then it's time to start, researching, find opportunities for you that are achievable, things that um, make sense for your work, whether it's getting into an online show or entering an art fair or an art festival or getting into a gallery or whatever it is. So I think increasing confidence it happens over time with a very consistent art practice.
I would agree.